What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new post-commentary duel video. We've got Atlantean Mermails versus Mekk Invoked, me piloting my going second build of Mermails versus my brother playing some Mekk Invoked, of course, both decks that want to go second. Gotta say, I've been having a lot of fun playing the going second version of Mermail lately, especially on stream. I've been having a blast with it, pretty much out of any other deck that I've been playing. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the matchup here today. Also, don't forget that we are sponsored by Imperium Duelists. If you want to check out any of their products, this beautiful playmat that we're playing on here included, you can head over to the website. They also have a brand new playmat. They just released the tour guide playmat. I believe the design was made by MST TV Tombox. Did a fantastic job on it. They sent me the mat. I'll be doing a little review on it next time I do sort of a deck profile or test hand video where I get to show you guys the mat, you know, sort of hands-on. So be looking forward to that. But you can pick up any of the sleeves that we're using here, or any of the mats that you see. Well, this mat in particular, as well as that tour guide mat. You can head over to the website, use that code in the description, get 10% off future purchases. But anyways, like I said, both decks wanting to have to go first here, but or wanting to go second, I should say. But obviously, one will have to go first, and I did lose the dice roll, so I do get forced into going first, which is sort of like a lightning bolt trapped into a jar. I really want to just go off and make explosive plays, but I sort of have to settle for dropping a Moulin, making him a Starboy, you know, a Link 2 just to set up the graveyard requirements, equip a Mizuchi. Now, I did take this build to a tournament, a slightly different build, one where I was trying out Mander in the main deck and True King of All Calamities in extra deck, so I would have a bit more of a solid going first end field, but I've since cut it just because it just, at this point, doesn't seem entirely worth it. I just have to accept the fact that going first fields aren't always going to be up to par as you're going second fields, because you can just do so much more when you have to go second. Obviously, the battle phase is Mermail's like most important phase, I've got to say, especially with this build. Of course, as you saw, I did rip out a Call by the Grave and a Blue Sky, Mekk Knight of the Blue Sky out of his hand. He does start his turn with Desires. Of course, that will get negated with the Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi, so his Meltdown can go through, which can, at that point, grab him Alistair the Invoker. Luckily did not banish all 3 copies of Alistair there. That would have been pretty rough, but you know, the attack boost from a Starboy. Priority probably wanting to clear away the Moulin Glacier, of course, so I would eventually end up losing my next battle phase. But right now, has pretty easy access to Mekk, but I did put a light in his graveyard. I'm actually pretty lucky I hit the Blue Sky because I did unfortunately give him a column with that Starboy and the Megalo. So I got pretty lucky that I hit that out of his hand, or that would have been a free, you know, 2 searches for him of any Mekk Knight cards, Mekk Knight monsters, I should say. I'm going to go ahead and follow up that Alistair play with Brilliant Fusion. And did banish the Mekk Knight of Ram, unfortunately, off the Pot of Desires. But luckily, you play plenty of other light targets in the deck than just the, you know, Manila Mekk Knight of Ram. Will still allow him to resolve that Brilliant Fusion, go into Seraphinite, and just basically using the Seraphinite, if anything here, other than the additional normal summon, which he does not get to take advantage of, but just getting to use it for you know, link fodder, essentially, to be able to get into Alistair the Invoker of Madness, which is a huge strong point in the deck's playstyle. Invocation coming down now, and going to banish, of course, Alistair and 1 light monster from his graveyard. We'll see what he's going to go ahead and banish. I'm feeling it's going to be Blue Sky, yep, just like that. And going to go ahead and fusion into Invoked Mekk, and go ahead and shuffle back that Invocation, and add back Alistair to hand. And now the only way he would technically be able to beat over anything is by boosting up his Mekk with the Alistair, but I made a mistake, and it's both players' fault. This is a minor mistake here. He tries to beat over Starboy with, you know, Alistair the Invoker of Madness. I'm like, you can't. It's being boosted to 19. Obviously, Alistair's at 18. And then he attacks over the Megalo with the Mekk, forgetting that it technically should have been at 29 instead of 24, so that was a mistake on my part and his part, but I guess it's just accepted game state at this point. Not too big of a deal, really doesn't change the course of this match too much to begin with. I start my turn by summoning out Aqua Spirit, banishing a infantry, and Masar Boy is going to go ahead and run over the Alistair Invoker of Madness. I just cannot get my words together tonight, man. I'm having a very hard time recording this commentary tonight. I don't know what the deal is. This is my like 10th time trying to get this commentary right, and hopefully it goes well throughout the rest of the video. But obviously, as you see there, that Nightmare Unicorn, I went into that to sort of bait out a monster out of his hand just for the negation. Probably not the best idea. I don't think that was probably the best play I could have made there. But at this point in the game, with the field that I have set up, there's really not a whole lot I can do. And at this point, he's going to activate Invocation and go ahead and summon out Megalancia, the Earth Mekk Knight, and that will give him a big enough monster to be able to run over Mooling Glacia, clearing pretty much my entire field and hitting me for some damage here. I believe he'll attack directly with that Alistair the Invoker. I still have one set card, not doing me a whole lot of good. And I draw for turn, top deck gunned, not what I needed. And so we're going to go ahead and go into game 2, where of course I'm going to opt to go second since I do have choice, and he will have to settle to go first. Now his deck, I would say, has a better time going first. Usually pretty consistent negation to end on, as opposed to my first turn board, which usually relies on taking out a couple cards from your opponent's hand to sort of do the job, but he can sort of end on more of a consistent negation with a card like Mekk. So that's one thing I do have to sort of pay attention to. But the one negation most of the time usually isn't too big of a deal unless the rest of your hand is just not going to work with you. Then the one negation might and can be the nail in the coffin, so to speak. So we'll see Mekk hit the field. Invocation gets returned back to the deck, and Alistair gets added back to the hand, as per usual. You know, your standard Invoked Mekk Knight plays. And like, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but the locals that I've been going to, the one that has recently been canceled, I'm going to start going to a new locals, and I might be able to record feature matches at this locals for you guys. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll keep you guys posted on that, but that is something you could probably look forward to in the future. Hopefully I can get something set up with them. I don't think they have like a strict no filming policy like the other place did, so hopefully we can get something worked out for you guys there. That would be really fun to do. I haven't recorded feature matches at a locals in probably over a year at this point, which is kind of a sad face, but oh well. What are you gonna do? So Teus starts off the turn by discarding Dragoons. We go ahead and grab Neptibus and I believe Gund. Neptibus hits the field. We send Dragoons. We add infantry. Now Dragoons is going to attempt to resolve. He will go ahead and use his negation there from Mekk, but to discard Alistair to negate and banish the Dragoons. Not really a bad play there, but I do have my Destrudo here to follow things up, targeting Neptibus to go into Yazi now, and Yazi is going to do his thing, and that's going to use his effect to destroy himself and Mekk. And now when he's destroyed, you can summon out a worm monster, and we're going to summon out Mermail. And at this point, I can put on tons of damage with the cards that I have left over in my hand, and he goes ahead and scoops it up there. Pretty much a guaranteed OTK at that point, with nothing else left on his field. Again, there's really not a whole lot. The one negation was going to do him there at that point. We opened the Teus Dragoons. We can do a lot with that, so the one negation's not really going to matter a whole lot. He starts a turn with Alistair, and then into Pot of Desires, of course, banishing 10, drawing into 2. He does opt to go first here, though. believe it or not, he does opt to go first, which is kind of strange. Probably hoping that I can brick this time around, and that maybe can end on a bit better of a field. Maybe you know, Invoker of Madness with Mekka, and maybe a set Book of Law into Ragin to really sort of secure things. But instead, looks like it's just going to be Mekka and you know, the classic recycle Invo, and kind of go from there. I think the main thing he was worried about was Moulin Glacia, so he'd just kind of better off trying to go first, end with a consistent negation, and maybe a called by if you can open it, or any other plays to go along with it. Maybe a Book of the Law already in the hand to maybe go into Ragin after per se the negation is exhausted. All sort of potential plays that could work in the favor of a Mekk Knight Invoke player. Just looks like it's going to be the Mekka though. Mekka pass. But here's the thing. I start my turn with Moray of Greed because my hand is pretty damn bad, and he negates it, which I was honestly not expecting, and turns out that ends up being pretty much enough. While it wasn't, you know, in my opinion, the greatest play to make, the greatest play to stop, it definitely did hurt, since my opening hand was pretty bad, and you'll see why. Instant Fusion's nice and all, which is great because I do play, you know, Mud Dragon, which is nice because if you don't have any other cards to give a target for your Destrudo, Mud Dragon works perfectly. Obviously, you can play Theseus, but Theseus is a tuner level 5, and of course, if you don't have like another level 2 on field to go with it, you can't really do a whole lot with you know, Destrudo and Theseus unless you have another non-tuner to be able to go into something like Corian Gandrix. So Mud Dragon is sort of like a better alternative. So I go into Gungnir, the brand new DT that I just picked up, discard a Mermail, I believe, because I opened up Mermail. That's why I didn't go for the Yazi play there. And then I summon Aqua Spirit by banishing said Mermail, and go ahead and punch for some damage. 16 from Aqua Spirit and 25 from Gungnir, Dragon with the Ice Barrier. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to him. Luckily, he is so damn lucky. I should say I opened the Mermail. If I hadn't opened the Mermail, we'd be in business, man. I'm telling you, we'd be in business. But the Mermail, it likes to troll me, man. It likes to troll me. It really does. I've thought about playing 2 and taking the Coward's Way out, playing a double of, you know, your engine requirement. So if you draw 1, which we all know, we all draw these damn engine requirements way more than we really should. You know, you could play 2, and then if you do, like I said, you draw 1, you're still in the zone. I don't know. I've thought about it. I really have. I don't know if I'll go through with it yet, but you know, I might at some point in the future. So he does find his way into a Mekk Knight of the Morning Star, activating Invocation here, banishing Red Moon and Alistair to, looks like, go ahead and go into another copy of Mekka, and of course recycling Invocation and adding Alistair back to hand. Only thing he's got to worry about here is the fact that Gungnir, of course, is at 2,500, and the only way he's going to be able to beat over that is by using that Alistair in hand to boost his Mekka up to 3,500, and at that point he'll be able to clear it. But then he does lose a monster in hand to be able to negate a monster effects with next turn. That's sort of always the give and take when you have to use Alistair in your battle phase to be able to beat over things. So he will swing over the Aqua Spirit for 6, and then he's going to boost, of course, in damage step his Mekka up by 1,000, swinging over for 1,000 over Gungnir, 1,600 total in that battle phase, and of course he's going to pass it back over to me. I think I set infantry here, not drawing into exactly what I need, which is kind of unfortunate. Already down quite a few life points. Goes into battle phase, not wasting any time. Swings into it, and it's just the infantry, and then swings in with the Mekka for game. So Mekk Knight Invoked taking the match 2-1. As you see, this is one of those matchups, again, like we saw with the Orcust versus Mermail match. I think this is, again, one of those matches that could go either way. It's a very dice roll dependent matchup. You saw he did get to go first game 2, and I just completely blew him out with a decent hand, with the whole Destrudo play and everything. That's just sort of how the deck can roll. If your hand is, of course, mediocre, negations play a bigger role in how your field goes. Obviously, the better your hand, the better plays that you can make, and the less impact negations have on your plays, of course, if that makes any sense. But yeah, like I said, hopefully in the new locals I'm going to be starting to go to, I can get some feature matches recorded for you guys, because that would be super fun. I'm going to be doing a review in sort of the next deck profile or test hand video I do of the brand new Imperium Duelist playmat. It's absolutely gorgeous. I did post a picture of it on my Twitter if you want to go check that out. All that information to the links to my social medias in the description as well. And yeah, also I might be picking up Necraz in the future to play that deck, with the whole Zaborg thing. I actually played it on stream last night, along with some BA, because I might pick those 2 decks up in the future, so have that to look forward to. But anyways, most of all, you guys having a good one. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you did, be sure to leave a like. And yeah, as always, guys, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see ya in the next one.